Okay. And I think we're live.
Yay!
All right. Well, welcome to our first Twitch stream. We've been doing a lot of things up on YouTube to this point, and so this is our first time.
Sorry about that. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. My fault.
Yeah. And so this is our first time actually trying to engage to the world of Twitch, and we'll see how well this works out. Obviously, check us out on our previous YouTube videos if you're interested in these kind of things. So for today's multiplayer test, we are actually adding or showing off a couple new features, and hopefully it will work pretty well. And that is the font change. And so we sort of updated the font engine. We have also done a lot of work on the navigation screen, which ends up being the RTS screen for the game. This will require updates in the configuration, but such as the way things go when you progress things. But at the end of it, it's by no means is it done, but it is functional, far more functional than it was before. So without further ado, I'll get the server up, and then my friends and I can join in, and we can go from there. So let me get that going.
And I have not crashed yet, so you...
Actually, while we're right at the start, Arthur, you said last week to delete my config file to get the hyperthreading to work again?
Yeah.
Okay, may as well while we're right at the start.
Or copy it out just in case that's what's causing the random problems, but I don't know what's going on with it. So let's go to the gameplay. There we go.
I think Rich is in the chat.
Greetings, he is in the chat. Let's say hello to him. Hello there. One advantage of having the Twitch stream running from a different machine is I can actually still see the actual chat room, which I couldn't before, because usually OBS would be behind the code and I could never see it. Now I see the secondary OBS on the secondary machine because I'm using an NDI link to do it. And those of you who don't know what that is a way of sending the video from the main machine to a secondary machine to be encoded, and then that's streamed up to the servers. It's a way that people who don't necessarily have bigger hardware are able to compile or to compress the video live without overwhelming the first machine. So we'll see how well this works out. So the server is up, if people can see it. I will say this, we probably want to do alterations to the configuration before we get too far with it, so I probably shouldn't have gone into the host mode already. Let's see what I can do here. To rearrange my joystick and such, because I lost my configuration on that anyway. Oops. That. Yeah.
Thus far, no crashing in the nav screen on my.
Yeah,
on
I
my
didn't.
computer.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of weirded out about. It's sort of like, okay, this wasn't. It seems to be random. I don't know what it is. And it only just sort of recently cropped up, like right before we tried to go live. So Matt and I were kind of playing with it right before. So for right now, my opinion is let's go forward. Let's see what we get, and if we figure out what it is, hopefully we'll fix it. Yeah, I'm not. It's still alpha. We know this. It's a thing. So tell you what I'm gonna do. Let's back out. I'm gonna go to the configuration screen, and it ate itself in the configuration screen. Yay. All right, let's try this again. As we well know, it does not like it when we back out. While writing BRs. Okay. Yeah, the font's nicely updated.
Yeah, I
That's
like the
mostly
font.
Matt's work. So give him the kudos. And now the good thing about the font is we can switch it out will. So people go, well, we don't like this font. We switch it out. It's a text file. You can put any font you want in there. We can only distribute things that you can use commercially.
Uh-huh.
But otherwise, if people don't like the font, they can change out the font. The system doesn't care. That's the beauty of it.
Can you adjust the letter spacing yet, or is that not yet on your system?
There is letter spacing. I don't know how it doesn't do proportional level spacing.
I mean, this looks better than the last one. The spacing is very even.
The
Yeah.
spacing's even, and it will be even regardless of the font you put in. You can change what it says. So, Matt, did you ever put in that 75% thing to adjust it, or didn't it work that way?
I thought I did.
Okay.
I'll have to go look at the code to double check.
I was only
Ah,
asking.
hi Kathleen. I was wondering. Yes, I didn't know who that was. Thank you, Kathleen, for telling me. It's like, who's
I was
that?
only asking because the letters, the new fonts could be squished together just a little bit, make it
You're
look a little
100% right,
cleaner.
and it's adjustable in the text file, which means technically I could go out, change the
Oh,
text
that's
file,
cool.
come back in, and it would look different.
That's cool.
Unfortunately, per font, it's going to be kind of have to be like hand done to a
Oh
certain
yeah,
point,
yeah.
I
and
mean,
we
I've
just haven't
seen
spent the
worse
time to do
printing.
it. But it is in the text file. It's you don't even have to recompile it. You can fiddle with it yourself, and poof, it's changed.
That's cool. I like configuration skins like that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not that big of a deal. The problem is we just got that running, and that's kind of where that one ended up. It's sort of like okay, and now there's actually 5 fonts in the game now. Now the other thing that I will mention also is if you look, the fonts themselves should be much crisper because they're actually now set to the resolution you actually have,
Yeah, I did notice
rather
that.
than one solid resolution for the font, which you know it's one thing for all. Well, now it actually has 5 stages. We're doing I think 8, 10, 12, 16, 20, or something goofy like that, and it
I
gets
was wondering
multiplied
where
up.
it was actually easier to read.
Yes. Well, partially
Like,
that's the font, and partially because it's actually doing the resolution
yeah,
you're actually running.
yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, it self-adjusts. So that means if you're running a 4K screen versus a 1080p screen, it actually will re-render those stages because it's scaling it to the actual resolution you're running versus what it is internally. So it will be crisper on the 4K screen, even though internally it might think it's a 10-point font. Externally, realistically, it's probably a 20 or 40-point font. But you see it as a 40-point font, so it's nice and clean, if that makes sense. So it's just one of those things. So I'm going to my configuration screen. Yay. Um, I'm going to controls, and I am doing defaults. The main reason why I'm doing that is because a lot of controls were added to the navigation screen. And so, unfortunately, this also means that all the um, simulation stuff, like support my joystick, probably has to be redone, which I'm not thrilled about. Uh, so let me actually redo that. So, pitch. There you go. Heading. I guess this is that right. Roll. Yep. Oh, that's not the roll. That was, this is roll. Yeah, axis 5, so he's not really set for this joystick. Now this. Alright. So if you'll bear with me, I want to actually set my joystick up to actually work this time. Okay, so I want. Okay, just debugging afterburner. Okay, this button takes 0. Mouse button 0. Afterburner. I will use my pinky. Target next viable ship. I will use this. Yes, mouse roll will support. It is actually in there as an axis, believe it or not, Ogre. So if you want to do an axis using the mouse wheel, all you gotta do is spin the mouse wheel.
Okay, but I actually just wanted it to be able to scroll through the menus.
Oh, well, okay, well, that's different.
Like, people usually use a scroll wheel on the mouse.
All right, you're 100% right. I didn't think of it. I guess Matt make a note of that. You're not wrong. Um,
Already noted.
okay, thank you, sir. All right, possess the next target is. I guess I want that one. Yeah. And yeah, where's next target? Next target should be target nearest enemy. I want to add that. Okay, now I'm happy because I have my. Oh well, I don't have my other stuff assigned, but I'll have to deal with it. Okay, so now I'll back out and I'll get the multiplayer up. So as you can see, we have changed the font, and I already announced that. But okay, so server's up now. And so now we actually kind of get to it. Now, normally I could actually just load the old game, but I think we kind of want to start over to a certain point. I have done adjustments, so it shouldn't go as crazy as it did before, as far as someone needs to adjust their name, by the way, since they're in this player. Matt, that might be
I was
you.
remembering how to adjust.
You click it, and then you can just hit the backspace and overwrite it. You should be able to do that.
It should be in
And then did you hit enter?
just now.
Well, here, when you try to do it. I mean, that was working at one point. Here, I'll click that. Now let's see if this is you. I'll delete it and go Jordan. Alright. Did that change yours?
No, but mine already said Jordan.
Okay. There's Matt. And alright, I don't know why that didn't get updated, but that's okay. Alright. Are we all on the same team? We don't have to be. Yes, I will say that shift support isn't in the chat yet. It will be, since the new font actually has upper lowercase. Give me that. Paul, if you're not going to talk, please just mute your mic.
I am muted.
Alright, I was hearing keyboard. That's usually you. In any case, what I want to do here is default to lowercase, make sure the shift works and stuff like that. So that required more coding for it to recognize it because it never needed it before. So let me bring in the beam ship. And I guess I'll be on Alpha? And I'll be an Admiral. Someone else should be the War Master just for testing reasons.
I am not changing my personal formula.
Alright, I'll go to War Master.
Fair enough. Ogre, you gonna... There you go. You gotta get a strip, though. There you go. So everybody's gonna mark
I was getting there.
Alright, so everybody's gonna mark themselves as ready. Jordan, looks like we're still waiting for you.
Apologies.
There you go. Alright, so here we go, and hopefully everything will work fine. Okay, I'm in, and of course I'm thrusting because of the different things.
I went to desktop.
Really?
Yep. But before it went to desktop, for some reason the screen went to just the loading screen with an empty Omniball. And then it just sat there until you said go with the server. I don't know why I went from the lobby to...
I have no idea. Just rejoin in, you know how that one rolls.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Now, what are people's opinions of the readability of the new fonts now that's on the multiplayer? Meaning the heads-up display, that kind of thing. More readable than less readable, was their opinion?
Much better.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
serious
know.
improvement.
Now, Adam,
Okay.
as you well know, we do have a specific font for you for this. It just has not been updated to it. That's one of the changes we're going to be doing this week.
Gotcha.
So it's not even going to be this font. It's going to be a much cleaner font for that kind of thing, in all
Okay.
actuality.
Yeah, that'll be better for the really small text.
Exactly. We purposely were doing that. It just isn't in there yet. It's going to be a relatively simple change. We haven't gotten to that point yet. So
I'm noticing that
yes.
the your own ship display in the top right is moved over to the left a bit, or kind of overlapping the ammunition like display.
That's
yeah.
been true. I
Okay,
don't. That is nothing new.
looked new to me.
Actually, now that you mentioned it, I'm pretty sure it looks different for me in that regard too on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me as well.
It shouldn't, but who knows? Things happen. But the only thing I could probably check with that is look at the old videos and see if that's still true.
Yeah, the new font for me is
The font is nice. It's just the spacing of the X's.
Oh, did think the font actually pushed it over a little bit?
It shouldn't
I'm
have.
wondering that myself.
I think it's been this way. No one knows until now.
No, my weapon, my weapon capacitance has been displayed outside of the self-damage screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the very tip of your main capacitor is also cutting through it as well.
I'll make a note that we should check it out.
Yeah, no, that's weird. I mean, I know that there has been updates as far as the way the fonts are printed. What if I switch out, if I turn off the monitors, if that changes? Alright. No, they're not moving. So that's not it. So, I don't know. Let me reset my,
yeah. I'm sending a picture of what my screen looks like. The distance to target and all the other stuff is very hard to read. However, when I take a picture of it,
okay, that's back to where it was. Well, the main other thing I wanted to do and show was a nav screen. So if you hit the tilde key or whatever, and you move your mouse over, and you select the navigation screen, this is the new hotness of what we were actually working with. So now if you use the WASD keys, you can actually scroll through the terrain.
Oh, that's so useful.
Now, what's even more useful is if you hold down the Shift key and then hit WASD, you will actually rotate around where the center is.
Nice.
But wait, there's more. If you just without the Shift key, you hold the Q and E keys, you will actually ascend and descend, meaning up and down. All right. And if you hold Shift, Q, and E, you actually zoom in and zoom out, which makes a very big difference because you can go all the way out seeing the entire planet, hell, the solar system, versus going straight up to the actual person. Now, the other thing you can do is you notice there's a series of other little buttons on the, they're colored. This is going to stay that way, of course, until Paul gets a hold of it. So, as an example, on the live stream, I should be zooming all the way into my ship, and then all the way out, just for ha-has. And seeing everybody, and I see people already building down there.
Using the nav screen.
Using the nav screen. So now I'm zooming in and out, and I can rotate, and since I have myself, if you just click once, it selects you on the self. If you double click, it centers on you. And that's true of everything that you have there. Now, all the buttons work yet the way they should. So, just for ha-has, you can click self, you can click the attack button, which is the series of buttons on the right, which are actual commands. Click that, and then click enemy, which will highlight all the enemies that are currently around. And then you can click execute, and hopefully it didn't, oh, I have a breakpoint, I apologize. And your guy will actually start, because the AI is controlling it right now, to go attack the enemy. Or should. Alright, so let's start the procedure again, since I get the feeling that, there we go. I left a breakpoint on my code because I'm running it through the debugger versus something else. So now, this is, my guy is moving, but I'm not controlling him, the AI is controlling him. Believe it or not. And so I can zoom in on me, and you can see kind of what I'm doing. So let me do the same procedure again. So self, attack, enemy. See, myself is not there anymore, so that's a problem. So self. Of course. Alright, I'll
I
try.
am not getting any of this.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm talking
I
about.
was.
I'm literally none of the keys are responding to
Did you
WAS.
did you do the update to configuration, or did you delete your configuration?
Let me go back and redo it because I was in the configuration screen. Let me just put out.
Also, make sure that you have
Put
your
out.
hand off the mouse. I'm finding that the mouse and the keyboard controls conflict somewhat.
Well, are you the Nav Screen or the?
I'm in the
It
nav
shouldn't
screen.
matter.
I'm noticing that if I move like the mouse around, I think a little bit.
Yeah, I'll move my mouse around fine. It's not doing anything. It's not causing
Oh.
any problems.
Okay.
Let's redo this again.
I noticed for a brief amount of time I was like having some dissonance with what like ASW did.
All right, here's the big thing you have to keep in mind. If your mouse cursor is over something, it will think that you're trying to select it,
Yeah, that seems
and
to
it
be
will
what I was.
try to keep it on the screen if it's moving. So that's the thing you gotta keep in mind.
Yeah, that seems to be what I was getting.
Yeah. So you know what sucks? this is always the demo. I was testing this. All right, so selecting it, and I should be able to execute. There it goes. So I had this working. I knew it was working, and it hasn't been working. Yay. So now I can actually view my own ship, and because the system tracks myself, I seem to keep on screwing up. Is what's happening. Why isn't it attacking? It's moving. It's acknowledging that I gave it the command. It's always during the demos.
Of course.
Well, golly gee. What it's supposed to do, obviously, is to start running over and going to attack something, which is kind of the point. But it's not doing that. Okay. Well, what I was trying to demonstrate is, and now it's working? Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna re-download this because it won't download the new config file.
Well, there's no new config file. You have to delete it.
I did, and it's not resetting. It's not resetting the config file.
Did you hit low default? Or defaults?
Well, I'm gonna try that again. Hold on.
Yeah, just go into there and hit defaults, and then hit save.
Yeah, I forgot about the default button.
Yeah, that's what.
I was in the config screen. I must not have hit save. I must have hit something else.
Yeah, if you don't do that, then it's not gonna do anything.
Yeah, that's probably what my problem is.
Yeah. So my controls about having it go somewhere is doing something. Let's see if I can get it to attack something. It should work. The big problem I was having before was that it wasn't. So I should be able to zoom in on myself here. See how it's tracking me, at least on the live stream. So I can zoom all the way in, and I'm still moving across the ground. Now, I will be the first one to admit I was working on this stuff even this morning. So having this completely work is not 100%. But Jordan, since you're doing the base building and stuff like that,
Yep.
with the description of the keys, and obviously you updated it, how is it playing on your end? Is it more friendly or no?
I mean, I have just been ignoring my personal ship this entire time, and it's nice.
So you've been happily building your RTS heaven, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely,
All right.
100%. I mean, I don't have any money anymore, but I didn't want to interrupt your thing.
All right, fair
Well,
enough. I'm
as
zooming
soon as
out
I
so
was
people
gonna,
can see what Jordan's been doing, which is over here.
as soon as I get back in, Jordan, I'll give you more money.
Woohoo!
God, absent fathers all around.
Something like that.
I keep crashing the desktop. So
Yeah, that's what he said too.
yeah, yeah,
Christ.
yeah. I can't get back in the game at all.
I'm going up for some smokes. I'm crashing the desktop.
Just by entering the game, you're crashing the desktop?
No, by going into after I hit the multiplayer button and joining the after the lobby, it goes to the lobby and then crashes the desktop.
Well, it is actually building. We were actually testing that before. We couldn't get it to crash.
Tell me when it's done building, and I will try to join again.
Okay, it's doing it from the boxes, so...
Yeah, it's waiting for me to have enough money, basically.
Alright, I can go to the assets. Here's another thing. I did actually finally activate the other buttons in the Omni Ball for the nav screen. So if I click on the asset screen, I'll actually go to the asset screen. Go figure. I have... I'll give you all my money, Jordan, because why not? I'm just like that.
Heyo.
Alright, Matt, it's not showing me my money. It's just saying 2F.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Jordan, now it did, the second time I did it. So I'm going to give you 1,000. There you go. So Jordan, did you see the change on your end?
Let's look. My change was I crashed.
Okay. Did anybody else see a change for Jordan? He should have 1,008 right now.
I just crashed myself as well.
Yeah, I think.
Yes, I also just crashed.
And I just crashed. Evidently
Well
crashed
then.
and create person. That's not good.
I guess this is why I can't have nice things.
Something like that. Now this is coming from a RTS decode. That means, did someone create an AI? Did someone hit the create AI button?
No.
Okay, well someone
I
did.
didn't. I was into the asset screen when you mentioned you were having a problem, but I didn't get there.
Okay, so... Because this is a receive. Someone must have hit the create AI. Yeah, this is in the read buffer. Alright, fine. Came from socket 0, so Paul? Who was the first person that joined in?
I think I was first in.
Alright. Well, it was creating something. I don't know why it would have crashed. It says corporation is null. That would do it. That's why we do multiplayer tests. TPR is 0. So literally got sent across as 0. That's interesting. So that got sent across as garbage. That's nice. Okay, so I'm exiting out. We really got to put these debug things so I can just see where it goes. Yeah, so. We also should handle the errors better, obviously. But what else is new? Alright.
Quick note on the because while we're out of this, on the join multiplayer screen.
Yes.
The favorite tab, white on yellow, not a great choice.
I will re-export that button.
Yes. Actually, I think Matt and I were discussing that, and we were saying that the green, with how bright the green got, made the white also kind of not legible.
The green is okay, at least from my perspective, but like if the favorite button, I have to really stop and stare at it to read it.
I really have to update this so I know what the dates on these things are. So if I hover my mouse over it, I know what the date is, because I have no idea which multiplayer save we were at. I guess I'll try 4 and hope for the best.
I pick 3.
Alright, let's go to the nav screen and see if this is
Man, I should at least Paul use that one.
This is another breakpoint.
Is the server up, or should I just hold on for a second?
Server's up. And then it ate itself with another create person. That's interesting. So someone's sending that across. In all seriousness.
When I joined server, I've joined a lobby.
The server's down.
Oh, okay.
That's really weird. Oh, okay. It must have ate itself as I was trying to join then.
It did. Yeah, I'm receiving it from the first connection, whoever that is, and it's going straight into creating a. Oh, in this case, it's creating a new AI. Why is it getting? All right, I'm gonna have to look at the log and see what's actually being sent.
I'm just wondering if when I was in the nav screen, because I didn't have an updated configuration, one of the keys I pressed might have been to activate a new AI before I crashed out.
I don't think so. Would this be? Oh, okay. I just saw Rich's thing about wouldn't it be neat if you view it in squad mode and have everybody stream at once?
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah,
interesting.
but I
I don't know
think
how
I
you would
think-
do it. I mean, someone actually would have to read a repository server, and then that would go up to the everybody else. You could do it, and I know the reason why you could do it is if we're in local LAN, or maybe not. You know how I'm using NDI, so I'm running it from a different machine? Each of these things is its own little web piece, which means that, yeah, I could actually do a squad setup. You just have to have decent enough bandwidth to do it with me.
Yeah. It is an interesting idea. I was going to ask that about you later on in the test.
Arthur, I don't
Alright,
think my width is enough to do it with you.
Okay. So, alright, I'm back up. And I went to a much earlier save because I don't know what was causing the problem.
That's a feature of Twitch, he said.
Of what?
Jordan.
You need to have a streamer account, and it's
You cut
I
off
just
there.
crashed again. I didn't say anything.
Well,
I
no.
said that
Alright, does everybody else hear him cut off?
Ernest cut off just now. I just crashed again.
Okay.
What was the thing for the logs?
rwm.log. There's a file there.
Gotcha.
Now, no one's building anything, so could you try joining in now?
Okay.
I know that seemed to be an issue from before. Matt, and anybody else? I really should have a screen that says who's actually connected, like a button or something like that.
Alright, I'm about to join in.
What's weird also is when I try to join and I see the lobby, it looks like there is an extra person labeled player.
That's probably what's causing the problem. Are you okay? That's probably what's causing that. Now I understand why this is crashing. You're the one that's crashing it. Okay, I get it now. All right. So what's happening is this. You're connecting. It doesn't know what to do with you, so it's creating a brand new instance of you. It never saved Jordan as on your local machine as your name. So what you need to do is go in, hit host, change your name, exit out of the game, come back in, make sure it still says it's Jordan, then you should be able to join in and it should be fine.
That host. Change my name.
To Jordan and then hit enter. That way we'll definitely save it. And then you should be able to go all the way back out of the game and then come back in, and then you should be able to join. So that's what's been going on. So that's why it's crashing. So I guess Matt, make a note of that if it doesn't recognize them, it should just kick them back out and disconnect them. And then I'll have to write something cleaner saying that, hey, the game doesn't know about you, you can't join. Or, unrecognized name or something stupid like that. We still have to put in that extra thing so that a brand new person can join because the War Master created the human AI. Which is something that we were going to play with.
I got something from that I might
Noted.
look at as well, Matt.
What's
Okay.
up?
Grab when you're in the multiplayer screen and well in the join server screen, grab the Omni Ball and drag it to the right. No, it's not doing it.
So we want to get the Omni Ball out of the way, or you want to be able to drag
No,
the Omni?
it actually crashes me. It removes me from the lobby when that happens. And that's the same screen I got. It's not doing it now, of course.
Yeah, I keep on getting crashes when I'm gonna try multiplayer 3 and see where we are with that.
I'm
Because
unable to
I keep
select
crashing.
the.
I don't know if people are joining and that's what's causing the problem, or it's crashing because there's a hole where Jordan was, or what's the deal.
I'm unable to get past the join screen. Is anyone else having that problem?
The server's not up, Paul.
Oh, sorry.
Alright, now the server's back up again. Let's see what happens when people join in.
Okay, attempting to join in myself.
Alright.
All right, there we are.
And then as soon as you did it, it crashed.
Ah,
So Paul, what do you have yourself set to?
in terms of what, like?
Alright, let's all go through the host screen. I'll bring back up the normal start point. We'll join fresh, and we'll see what's the deal. All
Okay.
right. Now we tried this last week, and we didn't have all these kind of problems, so I don't know what really has changed. And yes, we purposely made sure we were past 2020 for the version number. If you noticed that.
Oh, fun note. We have a full 12 viewers, which is our record, I think.
You're probably very right. I mean, I think it's the first time Rich was here, to be honest. So, server is up, although it's taking its time loading things. There we go.
Now, should I go to host or am I going to join?
You're going to join, sir.
Okay.
So there's Jordan. Now, you just came in. Who came in as player?
I did. That's probably what's because I deleted my configuration file.
Then that's what's causing the problem. So it may not even
Yeah.
be Paul causing the problem, and you might be causing the problem.
Oh, I haven't joined since we were having problems.
Okay.
We can
I'm
still
about
say it's
to,
Paul's fault.
Okay,
I'm
that's
gonna
true.
I'm gonna click connect then. Okay.
Yes. All right.
And-
There's Paul.
And I cannot change my name.
Yeah, I'm
Hold
showing
on,
up. I'm
hold
showing
on.
up as me.
Nope.
Can you click on the actual text itself, and you can't
There it
change it?
goes. I got it now.
You got it?
I had to click at a certain spot for it to register. I just changed it and enter.
Yeah. No, I
Yep.
saw it when we saw the update.
Okay.
I think perhaps I know it's a minor thing, but perhaps just on the changing name, a cursor, like one of those blinking cursors, just to indicate that it's ready for you to type.
Yeah,
Probably.
just I actually had to click on the white of one of my fonts, one of the letters. I couldn't click anywhere but on the letter in order to change it. So
It might be an issue of simply when it's in input mode, so to speak, we'll just change the font color, so it recognizes the fact you're doing something,
yeah, that could be it.
Noted.
which is very simplistic to do. Cursor positions, it's not quite ready for that yet. So Paul, if you see on my screen with the select ship thing, we need another window for that. Because you have all the rest of that stuff. If you see on the stream, this is so transparent that I can't even read it anymore.
Okay, I'll make up something for that.
So we just need a backdrop or something, and we can use the key backdrops. We can just use what you have for scenario, or even for the chat window for it if we had to. I'm just saying that I just think it's not very visible right now. Okay.
I can throw something together, or we can stretch and reuse something.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yep, that's fine. Matt, you ready? Oh, Matt didn't select a ship yet. There he goes. Okay. So one thing we notice, if that someone comes in as player and the system isn't ready for it, it eats the system. That's a given. Okay, now we're in. All right. So teams work and everything else works. So Jordan, you know what to do. So Jordan, since the two big things for this week was the changes in the navigation screen, and which is not done, I'm not debating that. What do you think of the changes?
All right, so we'll start with the select builder bot button. Doesn't seem to do anything just yet.
Yes, you're very correct. I don't know why it doesn't do that, but what else is new? However, you can click on owned, and that doesn't do anything. Or owned idle. That's why isn't?
The other thing though I noted is that while until I move my ship closer to the planet,
Mhm.
I can't really zoom that close to the planet. Like I'm at maximum zoom right now. Maximum zoom brought me down to the level of the ships.
All right, and I think this is a disconnect, and I don't know what the answer is. Zoom means where the center point is. When you go into the navigation screen, it actually the center of what you're looking at is well above the surface. Generally, it's where your ship is usually.
Mhm.
And so when you're zooming, you're actually zooming in on where your ship is, not. So, for example, if I double click on self, I'm perfectly centered on my ship. If I zoom in, I can then see my ship from the back. And that's what's actually happening. If you zoom out, it's still very centered on that ship. It's not centered on the surface at all. And so the zoom is that. It's not zooming in on the surface.
So
And
how do I get
so
closer to the planet?
you actually can just hit the Q and E key, and you'll scroll up and scroll down.
Gotcha. Okay.
And like on the live stream, you can see how it's actually, literally going up and down on it. And I'm just going traversing the actual surface right now, that kind of thing. The lighting's kind of horrible right now. Where'd the lighting go? Huh. In any case, the funny thing is that was all working fine, and now the lighting's all screwy. Yay, demos. Now the train going in and out, that kind of thing, that's a problem. That's one of the things I'm going to be fixing. But like what else is new?
So how does one get back out of the nav screen?
You click on the nav button, which
Oh,
is and that will get you back
no.
out.
I clicked on something other than the nav button.
Right.
There we go. All right,
Oh,
makes
I
sense.
totally messed up my train view entirely. I'm so confused.
Worst case scenario, you can always exit the navigation and come back in, and it'll work fine.
Okay.
So if you click up here, you're out. You can see what you're doing, and then you can always click back in, and then you'll be perfectly fine again.
Down to where? You know what? Be easier on myself. Let me get in my ship and fly down to where the builder bot is. That way, it'll at least start me close to the surface.
Now the manual controls work. There are keyboard equivalents for those selection keys. I do intend to fix all that by next live stream, for obvious reasons.
That was a mistake.
What'd
I
you
did that
do?
by accident. Push the E key while I was looking at one of the enemy's base structures.
I
All
guess
right,
that
I
default's
better
still
delete
there.
Ernest again.
So Ernest needs to be spaced.
I wanted to look at. I thought to look at the nearest enemy was E for some reason, and then I watched the base explode. I'm like, oh, not the E key.
Not the one.
Although, also, we should perhaps now retest, sending assets.
I just
Yeah,
ramped up
actually,
your
you're right.
assets to 99% or 93%, so everyone should be at 1% right now.
Sweet.
All right, let's check that.
Yep.
Yep, I see the
That's what
building
I'm
budget's
saying.
that way. So the only person,
Righto.
Jordan, actually is at 93%.
Sweet.
So there's your answer there. There's the installation. You only have the research facility and the other thing. So, yeah. So, Matt, one of the things we need to do is put the code in so that all the screens can go to all the other screens. I have
Okay.
that way in the nav screen at this point. So I'm back in the nav screen. So if you notice, I left, at least in the live stream, I left here to go to the asset screen. When I exited back out, I went back to the nav screen. I didn't go back to the simulation screen, which is the way it's supposed to work. So now I go to the research screen and I can see what's being researched, which is refineries. I see Jordan's being a busy beaver, which he should be. And again, when I leave the research screen, I'm back to the navigation screen because it's where I entered it from. That was always the idea of having everything kind of go into each other, if you will. Now, if we can wait until this becomes a giant furball, Matt and I were testing, and we found out that a lot of the lagging I was getting, which was really horrific, wasn't necessarily from there being so many ships per se. What was happening was, at least for the test that Matt and I were doing, there were like 200 ships, and they were all sending their AI at the same time, which wasn't in and of itself a problem for as the network code was concerned. The problem was it was writing to the log, and so it was writing out a massive batch of text to the log when it sent all those AI updates. And that's what caused the lag spike, not the actual sending of the network. So that was kind of interesting. So I remember last week I was getting down to like 12 frames a second. It was really horrific. That's not happening anymore. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. When I get down to maybe 30, 40, I'm not saying there can't be improvements, because there are, but it's really not as bad as it was. So once we get further into the game, we were getting to the point where it's sort of like, okay, Matt's ship is destroyed, my ship's destroyed, but our city is there. And we were trying to build new ships out, and I could possess it, and they were taking me out as I was coming out, but I could take down a couple of them before they got me. So this will really become more of a furball test, probably
That's
today.
pretty cool. So you lose your ship, you just possess the next one.
That's right.
Trying and keep your base alive.
You got it. And that's exactly the point. And you can possess things from the nav screen. So once you go in the nav screen, you select the ship and go in, or you can do it the old-fashioned way through the sim screen. But that's the beauty of it. It really came down to, no, this is actually how you play it. You're going to get yourself killed. You hopefully have a backup fleet back at base you can just jump right back into the game with. And you end up with a lot of derelict spacecrafts because the enemy doesn't really go for the destruction anymore. It only goes for the disable. So you have a lot of these ships just sort of like hanging out going, it's like, well, yeah, I can't move, I can't do anything, but there you go. So you should actually be able to live in the navigation screen these days.
Are the defensive turrets going to be usable at some point, so you can hop into one of those and target?
It wasn't the intention to do it. All right, Matt, we definitely have to reset the Omni Ball based on the different screens, so it's completely reset, so you don't end up in these kind of loops you can't get out of.
Yeah.
So that's got to be a priority for next time. So now one way I can get out of the loop is I hit escape, which will get me out to the sandbox, and then I can, now it's in the proper situation. So now I can go back to the nav screen, and I can see what's going on with everybody. So I can see our base here being built. I really have to put the text in. Now that we have a better text, I can see whose ship this is. That looks like the fish. We have another one that's sort of sitting up top, which I wouldn't be surprised if that was Jordan. There's my ship here. And if I scroll forward, I can see what the enemy base is doing. Let me go down here. I also have to fix the part of the terrain where it says whether or not it should render the extended terrain or not, because it should have a larger view of things.
Could you set the mouse? Could you do speed-based rotations? What I mean is, like if I'm trying to roll, if I pull the middle mouse button slowly, the roll key, it rotates slower, and if I move it faster, it rotates faster. Is that possible?
All right, are you talking about the nav screen? Or are you talking about the sim
No.
screen?
I'm talking about the sim screen when I'm flying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
I want to roll left or right.
Yeah.
If I do it right now, I have to really scroll in order to go.
Oh, you mean using the mouse scroll wheel?
Yeah.
You mean? Okay.
Yeah. Is there a way to set that where if you scroll slowly, it slowly rotates? If you scroll fast, it rotates you faster?
Did someone crash?
I'm frozen right now, so I don't know.
Well, yeah, because I froze. Since the server freezes, everybody else ends up freezing.
Yeah,
I'm not
I know.
crashed, but I have run into a buttons issue.
If you exit the nav and come back in, it'll probably be
No,
okay.
I'm trapped in the asset screen
Okay.
because the Omniball no longer knows where I am.
All right. Click on the asset button. You're on the Omniball will be wrong, but then if you hit the escape key, you go to the splash screen, and then you can go back, hit the sandbox again, and everything will be reset. That's one of the things I was mentioning to Matt about.
Okay. I just hit escape.
Whoa. Stop firing my weapons. Okay, we're back.
All right, and we're back. Did anybody crash out, or what happened?
I'm still in the game, just kind of browsing around the nav screen, so I'm still in as far as I can tell.
Alright.
Arthur,
Yes.
are there supposed to be floating crates of ore just kind of cruising along?
Are they actually moving?
It's in midair.
The crate shouldn't be. No, what happens is, even though I corrected the terrain visually, if it goes along those borders, the equation still fails and it doesn't know what to do with itself.
Okay, so it's most likely something you know about. That's really what I was making
Yeah,
sure
no,
of.
it's a known issue. It's a complete pain in the. It's one of those things like, okay, do I do the testing to figure out what's wrong with the equation? Because I know it's going to take me like a few days to do it, because obviously that's why I haven't fixed it yet. But it was like anything else. The visualness now the terrain's much better than it was, but that was very obvious to show the problems at the edges.
The box is actually moving.
Yeah. It was kind of funny. I'm like, that looks like a. As I'm getting closer, it's just a box.
Yes.
Reports
mean-
it's just a box.
If someone runs into it, yes, the inertia will make it move.
That's pretty cool.
It is also a ship silhouette. It's always possible the enemy used it as a ship.
No,
And
it's reporting as an ore crate containing like 2 point something units.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, I hit the L button for scan object while targeting the cube, and I crashed the desktop.
All right. That's expected. Don't do that.
That's
Okay.
probably not implemented yet.
Yeah, that's going probably to the old self-damage screen, which is.
Oh yeah, definitely don't do that.
That's in the process of being like massively disconnected, because we're going into the new one that Matt's building, and so the old one's being trashed because it never really worked very well.
Good to know.
Doctor, here's how I do this. Well, they'll do that.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, there's that part of it. So let's see what these guys are doing. I'll hop back into the nav screen and see what we got. So there's my ship, and this is the error that I was mentioning before. If I hit the slash key, this should actually work, and then I crashed. And this create person.
I'm joining. Well, I crashed.
All right, you said you were joining, and it caused the crash. Well, there's the answer then.
Yeah.
So now the question becomes why. We had this working before, where if someone joined, they just went right back into their slot. So what I want to actually do with this is a real test, actually. We can either continue from the last save and see what happens when Ernest joins, if it crashes. Then I want to actually see whether or not if it still does crash, if we start completely all over again and we get into the game, I'll ask Ernest to leave and then come back in and see if it crashes, because then I want to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was working fine. That was the point. So what's changed?
Is it about doing something right now, or is that what you're talking about?
I don't think it was doing anything special. And this is a new, different crash. It was never a personnel issue. And what's weird is it's receiving that something is told it to do it. Meaning it's receiving an RTS command saying, hey, do this. Now, mind you, that could just be a bug in the decode. Mind you, it could just be spurious information, and that's what's causing the problem. That does happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the game, and what I want Ernest to be the first one in, and if it crashes, well, obviously we know it's him. I'm pretty sure it is anyway. But then, if that's the case, I want to start from scratch again, and then we'll get in to the actual main game. Then Ernest should leave, and then he should come back in and see if it blows up.
All right. Tell me when you're ready for me to join.
Okay. So I'm gonna pick arbitrary 5 because I guess that's the right one. We'll see if that will bring us where we want to be. All right, I'm going sideways. Do we have that much of a city here? I guess we do. All right, try to join.
Joining.
And it crashed and did the same thing. Okay. Now I want to verify this is you.
All right.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back up. I'm going to go to that same save game 5. I'm going to the asset screen, make sure you're in the listing of assets of personnel. If you are there, the only other thing I can suggest is go into the game, go to host, and make sure your Mini Fire Dragon name is there.
I'll check that right now while you're
Yeah.
setting up.
Right.
I don't know if
Just
it's
to make
irrelevant.
sure that it kept it, because if it didn't keep
Yep.
it, then
It's still there.
okay. So if that's the case, I'm gonna load in the same save game, and I'm rotating as usual. All right. Well, that's pausing out because you can't get back into the splash screen until everything's loaded. There we go. Sandbox. Go to the asset screen, and it says 6 personnel, and you're the War Master. Maybe that's it.
That's what I was thinking when you were talking about.
And maybe that's why it's complaining. So it sees you, and you own the builder bot and all the rest of the stuff, but it's still Mini Fire Dragon. So all right, just for ha-has, try to join in.
All right, coming in again.
Yeah. And it crashes the same exact point. So what I want to do is I want to start completely from scratch again. I want to get into the game. And then the first thing you do, and since you were the War Master, let's make it exact. Have you come in, or excuse me, exit the game and then come back in and see if you crash the system. If the answer is yes, then we'll try the same thing again, but have you not be the War Master and see if that made a difference.
All right. Sounds like fun.
Yeah, that's testing.
Yep, that's what it's all about.
It is what this is all about. I mean, it's still alpha.
I got a little lost in there, so we're joining a new server now?
Yes. Server's now up, as you just popped in, so yes.
Sometimes I get a little lost trying to follow the, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's up.
Oh, 90% of the time, I have no idea which is which.
That's 2.
All right, so
I'm using the same configuration that I started with last time.
yes.
By the way, I don't know if it's a relevant bug at all, but for a while before we crashed out, I was noticing I was kind of just flying over empty space. The ground just kind of disappeared and all. Completely.
It's a known bug with the it determining what type of terrain it should have. Sometimes it doesn't know, and then it goes crazy.
Okay.
All it does is make it disappear. It doesn't mean it's not there, and then you move far enough, it reappears again. It's just it's a selection bug. It's the same issue that I'm running into, that if it doesn't always render enough stuff.
Right. I was just cruising around in the sim screen, then it corrected after a while, after a hang.
No, you're not wrong. Yeah, I gotta disable that. Okay. So I guess everybody's in and ready? Alright. So we're in the game. So let's just do this for ha-has. I'm gonna exit out to the sim screen. I'm gonna save. Alright. Or the splash screen. So now that we have something 0. Ernest, could you exit the game?
Putting out.
Alright.
Nope, not out yet. Q actually doesn't kick me out right now.
No, it won't anymore.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
You're like, why am I not leaving?
Yeah, because Q's now using the navigation screen, so it can't be global anymore.
We
Well, I was
noticed
thinking-
that access of
I'm
escape and blocked it off.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I'm out.
So actually, yes, it actually is doing what it's supposed to do. The other main thing is I was thinking of adding Matt adding in some keys to the splash screen, so you can hit escape from here, and which will take you to the splash screen, and then you can hit Q to exit out, so you can go get out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I got out, so I'm reloading right now.
Okay. Now they're building, but that shouldn't make a difference. But come on back in and see what happens. They're done building.
I'll let you know when I'm about to join.
All right. So my joystick is working,
Alright.
right?
Multiplayer.
Yep.
Alright, I am about to connect.
All right, sir.
Waiting for the screens to load. Okay, connecting. And I'm in.
All right, so you're in. Now, it
Yes.
might be an issue that when you first joined in, your name was Player versus Mini Fire Dragon. Maybe that's the issue. That should not make a difference.
Alright, well, let me adjust my assets. And I'll, because that's what happened, that's where we were at before, so let me
Okay, then that's not a bad idea. Let's adjust all the assets.
put Jordan back to what I had him before.
Yeah, I'm watching you change things, which is good.
There we go.
Mhm.
Alright.
So Jordan's at 93, but we're all at 50. So okay, that still works though. That's good enough. All right. Well, I guess Ernest exit out and come back in and see whether or not it's a problem.
I'm going to do that right now. Quitting out.
Okay.
Alright. Out and back in I come.
Okay.
I'll let you know when I'm about to connect.
Okay. Now the next test, honestly, I want to do a manual save, and then have Ernest come back in from a save game versus a fresh game. If you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Because then that is a significant difference. Do you know what I should probably do? And I know you're not going to like this.
I'm connecting now.
Okay. Matt, we're probably either in the asset screen or somewhere else. We need to identify who's actually connected. So maybe
Yeah,
have a red dot or a green dot saying they're actually in or out, and maybe have a little ping there or something like that if you're human.
I have a note to add some sort of display somewhere to indicate that.
Yeah. Doesn't necessarily have to be there, but it would kind of make a little bit of sense. So you're back in now, and you're okay,
Yep,
right?
I'm back in.
Okay.
I'm going to try one more test. I'm going to put my craft in motion. Because
Oh.
it seems last time
No, that won't make a difference.
it won't make a difference.
No,
Okay.
that shouldn't make a difference at all. I mean, I see you driving around over there.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit, and I'm going to save, and then I'm going to quit out. All right. So everybody out, kind of thing, out, down the spot. I'm going to actually bring up my thing here so I can actually see what it actually saved as. Manual save 3. Okay, good. So now the one loading. So what I want to do is once I'm up and running, when you're ready, Ernest, you join and see if it crashes. If it does not crash, then I can probably say because you changed your name from the beginning from when actually went the game. Should it make a difference?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. But it's the only other variable I can throw into the mix.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it does crash, then it's something with the loading of the save game that's causing the problem. Which I would not be happy about, because that sort of eliminates the whole reason why I have a save game. But that was working before, but you know how this works. Yeah. But it was working before, well, it doesn't matter because it's not working now.
Call upon the power of certification.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, server's up. So Jordan,
Shall I join it now or wait?
Ernest, please join.
Alright, I'm joining.
Your ship is even moving since you wanted to do that anyway.
I'm in.
Alright. Then maybe it's because you changed your name at the very beginning. That's the
Perhaps,
only other
yeah.
variable I can think of.
Yep.
That would be really stupid why that would be the case, but I have no other idea. That's a very strange bug. Matt, could you know that's kind of weird in there?
So what is it? Changing the name during initial game load can cause crashes when reloading.
Or it might be because the initial name was player, meaning when it's coming default, so it came in from a fresh config. So he came in as fresh config, changed his name, they went into the game, and then The only thing I can think of is when it was saving, it didn't actually save his actual name. Which might be the case, honestly, if I can think of why that might happen. The personnel and the player name might be stored separately. And when it does the matching, it's only checking against the player name, not the personnel name, even though your system's displaying the personnel name. So if the old system is still saying player, even though he updated his name, and that's what's causing the problem, that might do it. I'm speculating. I don't know. That's about the only thing I have right now about why that would even happen. But that's nice to know because that's a bug that we'll have to address. That's why we do this. Okay. Sorry, Jordan, you had to start from scratch, but that was a very unknown problem.
Meh.
You know. So hence multiplayer tests. Well, this should be stable enough. So I mean, that was the only problem, and since that's now gone away, there should be a non-issue now. So let's go back into the Mr. Happy Dappy nav screen. Now, technically, from what I remember, I do have keyboard equivalents set up. I gotta fix the alley wall with that kind of thing. So that you can actually jump screens based on the F keys. I forget what they are, and of course, it's only right now supported in the sim screen. So once you're somewhere else, you can't get back out the same way. That will change. I'm going to make sure all this navigation craziness that's what it is right now will be fixed by next time, so that you're going to have much cleaner maneuvering between the screens and that kind of thing. So that you won't be fighting the controls as much. So on the live stream, as you can see, I'm just sort of zooming in and out and zooming around and going up and down and all the rest of the stuff. I should be able to select my guy using self, and I can double click and it'll completely center him. Let's do that again so that I don't want to go up. I want to zoom in. Now I should really get a nice kind of attack run. So if I zoom out enough so I can actually select it. Adam's suggestion of no matter how far someone away is, you should be able to select them. He's not wrong, and I gotta put that in. Because it shouldn't be that, oh, your zoom radius isn't big enough for you to see anybody and therefore you can't do it, is kind of dumb, and you're not wrong. So there it is. Now I actually finally saw them. So yeah. So now I just told it to attack something. So now I'm going to re-zoom in on myself. And I should be able to see me coming in to do something more interesting. So let's see what he does. Now, that's the only sort of problem is that people should be seeing my ship moving at its quote-unquote full speed, but because we're going across miles here, it's not, doesn't look all that fast.
You're passing by me, so it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate around so you can see.
However, you are pausing and jumping in space.
Really?
Yep.
Pausing and jumping in
Pretty
space.
interesting. It's like I'll catch up to you, then you'll jump ahead, and then I'll catch up, and you'll jump ahead.
Well, I see you back then. Now I'm being controlled by the AI. Maybe that's what it is. And therefore, maybe your system isn't recognizing the fact that that's actually a good point, now that I think about it. That's probably what it is. Matt, another note, if you would, please. When I switch in the navigation screen, no one else knows I went into AI mode. So everybody else's system isn't interpolating correctly. So it thinks I'm standing still because if I was in sim mode, my thrust is off. You know what I mean? So it's only sending the updates when it does the periodic updates. So one of the AI updates should say whether the AI is engaged or not. Because up until now, we never actually was in a situation of having our own ship's AI controlled without causing havoc.
Okay, so this would mean that the sim screen has to update to indicate that an AI is now controlling your ship?
No, it's just the internal thing that says that. So the sim screen itself doesn't need it. It would be the internal saying that, hey, not only is the AI being updated, but the AI is controlling the ship now versus the player. Now, if I was actually assaulting this, it should actually be complaining about it by now. Now I'm firing. I have really low. There it is. So I didn't fire. So if you actually see the live stream, my guy is just starting to attack their refinery. It waited till the last second to fire, but it did it. That's really strange because I didn't think I thought the range on this was actually pretty big. So I'm coming in for another attack run, and yeah, these shots are really close.
By the way, if you would like to have more guys to fire at things with, the factory's done.
Excellent. Which means everybody else is going to need money, Ernest.
Okay, I will increase the rates.
That's very strange. I thought this default ship had a pretty decent range, had the purple beams, but these are red beams. Maybe I'm thinking differently. See, I'm taking pot shots, but not like that big of ones. And there's the AI controlling the ship. So if I jump out of here and I instantly pop into here, oops. You can see that my ship is like running along the ground because I'm not doing anything. Now, do you still see me, Ernest?
I'm in the nav screen. I'm in the asset screen right now, so no, I'm not looking at you.
I just saw that turret taking shots at you.
I'm sure they did. Yeah, I have red beams. I thought these were had longer range than this. But my point is that you shouldn't see me jumping anymore because I'm actually manually controlling myself.
I would have to go fly over there. I'm back at the base anyway.
All right, I'll go to where you are because I think it's a valid test.
I'm exiting out.
You are where?
I should be right above, pretty close to right above the base.
Which base? Oh, I see where you are. All right.
I'm actually trying to get out of the asset screen right now.
Good luck with that.
There we go. Oh no, now I'm in the nav screen. So.
Because you went from the nav screen to the asset screen.
Yeah.
The idea is that you're supposed to be able to live in the nav screen if you need to.
Yeah.
And once we fix all these controls going back and forth, it will be okay.
Yeah. So where are you at?
I'm behind you actually. I'd be targeted, but yeah. I'm coming up. That's my problem about using afterburners.
There you go.
Yep. So do you see me moving normally?
Yes, you're moving normally.
Okay, so that's confirmed that is because your system client didn't realize I was under AI control, and therefore you were getting the force sync updates. You weren't actually getting the interpolation updates, meaning to keep the network lag low, what it does is it sends it lets the local client interpolate what's actually happening on most of the frames. But to make sure everything's in sync, every once in a while it sends an AI update just in case it made a decision that the local system didn't recognize. So that's why you saw me jump.
Yeah.
It went,
I got you.
Here's your update, and you saw me jump, and it's sort of like, but you're standing still. So you're just hopping. And no, so from my end, and I was watching it on the nav screen, I was actually moving normally. So that's a thing, and I didn't even think about that, and so that makes sense. So thank you very much, Ernest. That's actually very helpful.
I am having trouble getting the builder bot to do things.
All right, well, let's take a look at the builder bot. Let's go to the nav screen.
It's moving right now, but I had to tell it to build a reactor 3 times.
That has to do with the same issue of, you know how like the ships are jumping up and down and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
Well, I figured that was much. That's why after the first time I waited like 2 minutes.
No. That's not it at all. It's not a money issue. That waiting 2 minutes is a money issue. You would have to scroll around. So sometimes if you look, I don't know why I did that. You can see where your mouse cursor is, and you can see. Sometimes you can see the blue crosshair, and sometimes you can't.
Okay.
Or the blue crosshair isn't where your mouse is. That's because there's an equation fault, and so it's a problem. And so if the equation faults, it isn't going to know what you're doing.
Oh my God.
It's not obvious. What's up?
My screen is an overlay of a UV map right now.
Oh, you're probably in the old
You're in the old self-damage screen. Yeah. You hit S or L, didn't you?
No, I just clicked on the ship after I hit enemy ship, view ship, and then I just clicked it. It just went.
View ship. It goes in the old asset screen. Yep. The nav screen doesn't know about the new asset screen, new system screens yet.
Yeah, because I was playing around the nav screen trying to learn what the stuff does and navigate around.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, and that did it. Yep. So another note that I have to update the goddamn nav screen. The Omniball's set up right, but the controls on the right are set to the old screens, and yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, I wouldn't have recognized that. I saw that earlier today too, and I was like, okay, la la la, self-damage screen. Oh, that's the wrong one. La la la. So he's building turrets and stuff like that. Okay, so things are actually starting to get hairy over there because he's got a factory, and so I think he's got ships now.
He's kicked out.
Well, Arthur, why don't we have a Hulk?
Yep, he's built his first ship.
No, he's built his second and third ships.
Ah, yes, and he's got turrets down. So you wanted a furball. This is going to get very furry very quickly.
Yeah, and I'm a little behind because I've been fighting with the builder about just a little bit.
I see someone taking a hot shot.
Remind me, what was the key to turn in the nav screen?
Shift and then
Shift A and D or Shift and WS will let you rotate.
That's
without it, it'll scroll.
Oh, that's so nice.
Isn't it though?
I like that.
Yeah, that's so much. And then you can use Q and E to go up and down, but if you do Shift Q and E, you'll zoom in and out.
Oh, yeah, okay.
See what I mean?
I feel like I'm operating in lightweight right now.
Fair enough, but you can see how much of a nicer feel it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
and once I get the selection stuff and the orders on the right working nicer, then you can really live in here like it's an RTS. And that was always the intention. Alright, they're getting very fuzzy out there. Alright, is my ship even alive anymore?
I'm just hovering around. I can go out and take some shots of things if need be.
Yes, by all means, you're welcome to do so.
Wow.
I mean, at this point, it's pretty much game on, people, because they're attacking me, and they're going to attack us, and so we should get some ship designs up and get something rolling and get the factory cranking out some ships so we can actually get in them when we get our butts handed to them. Because my ship, despite everything, my armor is mostly gone. So I'm going to start targeting the nearest ship, who's actually right on me.
I'll be starting on turrets soon. I would need another research facility.
Alright.
Okay. Turrets.
Is that really the closest guy? I guess it is.
Why won't you let me select turrets? That's not cool.
It won't let you select the turret?
It's not having it.
Okay. Alright, I'll just sort of pause here, and let me go to the research screen to see what you're doing.
No, I'm trying to build it. I already did the research.
Oh, okay. I see you have a secondary research center. It's not doing anything, though.
Yeah, I'll just build it.
Fair enough. I have to fix that. Alright. So, that's... Wow! There's an entire mass going after someone up top.
Are they coming towards me? I can't tell.
Oh gods, yes. Remember the whole bee's nest that was coming after Ogre a few weeks ago? They're coming after you.
Okay. Actually, I don't think they're coming after me. They're coming after someone else.
Okay.
Because I'm seeing them flying away from me right now.
Okay, well they're coming after whoever's above the enemy base, because they're definitely going, hey!
Well, like I said, maybe it is me.
Right.
I'm getting sprayed by laser beams.
Yep. Remember, it is laser beams and Fox Engine software.
Let's say I'm firing at the same exact spot in the building. How long should it take to blow it up?
Depends. I know Adam had up the armor. I noticed.
Whoa, so many. Holy shit.
Well, let's put it this way. In my ship, my engines are disabled, so I'm shooting at the exact same point.
Alright, is your capacitors up or no?
I've tried letting them fill up and fire. I've just tried constantly firing for the past minute and a half.
Well, if they were depleted in your firing, it's just cosmetic. You're actually not doing
Like
any
I
real
said,
damage.
I've tried both.
Well, I understand that, but a full volley may not have been enough, is my point.
Well, no. When I say I've tried that repeat, it's I let him fill up fire, let him fill up fire, let him fill up fire, let him fill up fire. I did that.
Alright, which building are you having an issue with?
It was the rectangle with two cylinders on each side. It was the only one I was facing when I lost engine, so
The rectangle?
that's what it looks like
Factory
from the
maybe.
side. No, the factory is a longer rectangle with like more stuff on it, if I recall
So you mean the
correctly.
dome one? That's the warehouse.
No, there's another one. The center part of it is higher than the cylinders on the side.
Refinery?
Might be a refinery. I see the reactors. I'm pretty sure I see the.
Are there
factory.
boxes around it?
Not anymore. Finally blew up.
Okay.
Also, I broke the nav screen.
Alright, you can exit the nav screen, come back, and you'll unbreak it.
But it also didn't look like all my shots were hitting before I lost engines.
I mean, it still might be a power issue. I don't really know.
No. Like the top part of it, the beams didn't look like they were hitting. They may have actually been hitting, but they didn't look like it until I got lower on the model, and then they actually hit.
Then it probably wasn't hitting.
That's part of why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
No, I broke the nav screen a little more thoroughly than that, Arthur.
Okay.
I now permanently have the build menu up, but none of the buttons do anything.
Yes, that was one of the bugs I was trying to fix this morning. You'll have to actually click on the builder bot, actually go through the things of actually going through the build menu. That's when we can get rid of the damn build menu. Trust me, it won't be that way next week or next live stream.
Again, I click on the builder bot, I click build menu, nothing changes, I still can't click on anything. If I exited or entered the nav screen, doesn't matter.
Well, that part won't.
Incidentally, if it matters, everything is now marked enemy red for me. I don't know if it matters.
Nah, that's the friendly folk going wonky anyway.
But yeah, I click on the builder bot, I click build, nothing changes, can't do anything.
Exit the game, come back in?
Yes.
I mean, it's not a wonderful answer, but I mean, I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, there's plenty of ships for people to kill at this point.
In the assets,
I'm currently dogfighting.
Screen, how do I know which one of these ships in our own corporation is something that's not piloted by a person?
It won't respond to your command.
So if I click on it and hit possess, that's...
No, you should actually hit H if you're in the sim screen.
No, not in the sim screen. I'm in the asset screen. Or navigation screen, I'm sorry. Navigation screen.
There's no way to tell in there right now.
Okay, so when I'm outside, hit H. Okay.
Well, H is just going to select whatever the nearest guy who's healthy, which at this point is just, you can see who owns it, because in the ship owner. So if you try to possess it, you're going to have two people in the same thing. Although I don't know if you can possess somebody who's... Although, did we turn that on in the config screen still? Can I possess Matt? Yeah, I can possess Matt.
My reactor just got taken out.
So Matt, I just took over your ship.
Oh, that's okay. I'm not actually in the game at this point. I was out and I got wrapped up watching the live stream.
Okay, fair enough.
My reactor just got taken out, so if there's
possess Matt's ship.
Right?
He's not using it. Do we actually have a design so we actually start like kicking out some stuff?
Crank some out because I got a down reactor right now. I'm just floating in space.
All right.
I'm not seeing a Matt like show up. This is like a.
All right, now I just crashed.
That's because I took over your ship.
Did someone just try to join?
I just tried to join and crashed.
Okay, we're back to that again. Damn it.
Well, I just possessed the ship that was Matt's ship. I think that's just as Jordan.
Oh, I think that's probably why it caused the problem.
What's up?
Well, I mean, you have one player possessing another player's ship, and then it gets confused. So the last save game was 13. So I'll go to 12, and we'll try it from there. All right?
Should I quit out then?
Yes.
Okay then. That was fun getting into a dogfight there.
Well, you're gonna be right back in it.
While you're resetting the server, Arthur,
Yeah.
Melinda's making all these noises because she just finished the book that came out.
Ah.
Wow. How many pages is that book?
380 something.
See that overnight?
Well, no, over today.
It's a 12-hour book anyway.
Melinda reads fast.
Damn.
So yeah, she did it in like, I don't know, 8 hours maybe.
And then I'm crashing again. I'll try.
I'm joining right now, so hold on. Oh, I crashed the desktop.
Yeah, because someone joined in. Oh, bloody hell. This used to work. I'll try 11. Alright, what I want to do is,
Going
if
to
this
11
is
is
what's
always the
really
right
the
choice.
problem... What was that?
And going to 11 is always the right choice, right?
I guess. I want people to join one at a time and call out who's joining first. So I know, is it just the fact of joining? And if that is the case, then what I'll do is I'll go into debug mode and see why it's crashing.
Why don't you tell us who you want to join? Make it simple.
Because that's not actually simple. Alright, Ernest, why don't you join?
Alright, joining.
Alright, and then it crashed.
I am the War Master.
Okay.
And I also have a dead ship in space.
Well, that shouldn't matter at all. Alright. Well, it's crashing the same... That's really... Okay, so tell you what. Instead of Ernest joining, let's have someone else join. Someone else volunteer.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
I will.
Also, Rich says the sound effects are coming across a bit fuzzy and choppy.
Yeah, I noticed that. There's really nothing I can do about that right now. And right, the sound effects aren't all that set to be all that high, purposely because it overrides everybody.
How's the video stream coming through, though, otherwise?
That's a good question. Yeah, how's the video stream coming through?
I've been watching it. It gets a little choppy now and then, but otherwise it's pretty good.
Well, I purposely... Okay, server's up. Whoever the next person
Okay, I am joining.
Go. And same thing. Why would it...
I'm stuck at the lobby, but I'm pretty sure I'm about to crash.
It's crashing it out anyway.
Yep, I'm out.
What the living freaking frack? This used to work. Alright, what I'm gonna do, and I don't want to do this, but I don't have much of a choice, is I am going to go into the server and go into debug and look at what's going on when you guys join in. Because obviously it was working originally. It isn't now. I want to know why.
But it works early in the game, but later game.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't cause this issue. And what's funny is it's receiving data that's telling it to do it, which is kind of wacky. Like a new AI is being created. And so that doesn't make any sense to me. Oh. I wonder it's a matter of because you're interpreting all the new stuff coming from the system that you're creating new AI and sending it across. Maybe that's what it is. I don't really know. Okay, so hold on. I'm putting a breakpoint here. Pick whoever, either Jordan or Ernest, try to join in.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Okay, we'll join in.
Try to join in. That's what we got.
And joining.
Okay. So now it sees you here. Hold on. I'm just stepping through the code to see what's going on. So bear with me.
What?
If temp player does not equal null.
So I'm just in a lobby where it says my name is player.
If that's... Are you sure that's you?
Nope.
Alright, well, alright, let's put it this way.
There's only one person here, and it says player.
Jordan, it's okay. Everything's paused. Nothing's sent to you yet.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so that's why I'm stepping through this. I'm trying to see what's going wrong. So nothing's actually been sent to you yet. So what you have there is irrelevant.
Okay.
Oh. Player has been found. So temp player name is Jordan. Let's see you there. Okay. And then goes to this, and it should now send you your ID code. Tell me when there's an update.
Okay. There isn't. I'm assuming at some point the one thing here should stop saying player or something.
I don't know.
Nothing's changed.
Okay. All right.
Still nothing's changed. I don't even know what I'm looking for to happen.
You'll notice it, Jordan, when it happens.
And it's definitely not happening.
Don't worry about it, Jordan. There's no reason to get excited about it.
That's 3.
Excuse me? 3 what?
I've just been keeping count of things that I would normally ask Melinda for a comment on.
Ah.
At least the total number of them are up to 3.
Update.
Alright. So that got the update, and you should see all the players there now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And computer 1.
Which is the War Master AI.
Just letting you know in case that was important.
No. So the wackiness is it sent you the system. Are you in the main game itself yet?
No.
Because at this point it's doing. I don't know why I'm out in the multiplayer, but okay. So then I'm just running. And now it ate itself again. That's really
Crashed.
peculiar. Yeah, I crashed on my end.
I figured I was misreporting.
Netcom RTS command. So is it sending or what's this? Where am I? Decode net stream. So it's actually decoding something they got from you because you're the only person that's there. You sent a command back to me, and it thinks it's an RTS command, and that's what's causing the problem. Oh, friggle. Matt, you never entered the game, so.
I didn't, but I can try if you want.
No. Well, here's the problem. What's happening is, as far as I can tell, I don't think he's actually sending me anything. I think he's sending me garbage, and it's being interpreted as this.
Well, Matt was in the game because he had a ship, so.
Yeah, but that's not what I mean.
Okay. I need to step away for a minute.
Oh, thing. I wonder if it's because it's a server reflect, but you wouldn't reflect back towards me though, so that wouldn't be the issue. That's really peculiar. And it doesn't happen in the early game. Okay, let's go backwards. Let's see when it starts happening. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to older save games and see at what point it starts to the barf. Is it the first one, the second one, is the third one? At what point does it keel over and die? Does that make sense?
Okie dokie.
Because we did do a test before and it worked fine. So I'm going to try 10 minutes in, which is multiplayer 5. Alright. So Jordan, if you'd be so kind to join in.
Alright. Joining in.
put a breakpoint here. I don't want to do that. Sorry.
All right, I've returned.
And same
All right, so
problem.
am I supposed to be fully entering the game?
I crashed anyway because you tried to join.
Okay, well,
so
there you go.
I'm going to go with earlier. Well, needless to say, Matt, we definitely got to figure out what the world's going on with this. Because that's just not good. That this was working fine. There's kind of a staple of the game that, hey, if things went wrong, you just come right back in. Now that's not true anymore. That's not good. Alright, I'm going to try to... Alright, try to join in, please. And same problem. Alright, I'm going to try 0. Or I'll try 1, just for ha-has. Now, you were saying that the stream is still jittery on the side of on Twitch?
Yeah, I'm watching your scroll underneath. Just now was jumping a little bit, and your head was jumping a little bit. Now it's smooth again.
Okay. I wonder it's the bigger machine because of the how it's sending.
Yeah, it's not constantly doing it. It's just occasionally it'll jitter a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm in. Jordan, if you would please.
Okie doke. And join.
All right.
I'm in.
That's interesting.
Or
So
back,
something happened between. So what happened between this one and the next save? So I guess everybody else can join in. We're very early on, but that's actually very curious.
Oh wow, this is incredibly early.
Well, as I said, I tried a different save game and it crashed. So the question is, what changed in the system that would cause that kind of problem? This is incredibly early. I'm not thrilled about this.
Do you want to join and go down the line until you get one where it is crashed? Or is this the earliest that you can
This
find?
is the earliest that we can get in without people crashing.
I didn't know. I wasn't hearing you if you tried the other ones.
Yeah, I tried the one above this and it was eating itself.
I'll join in, I guess.
Well, I mean, everybody else join in and see if they crash the system.
I'm connecting.
I'm in now.
I'm in.
So what would have changed that would cause the problem?
Let's see. What is the settings right now?
Joining. I'm in.
Okay. That's very disturbing. It shouldn't be like that. I mean, the fact that it works here shows the code works. What changed? So, I mean, what we'll probably end up doing is Matt and I offline will sit there and let play for a little bit and then try to come out and come back in, or use these exact saves, if you know what I mean, and see what the corruption might be.
Well, there's 4 things that happened. One, Ogre couldn't destroy base. Jordan's menu got messed up. I tried to possess a ship that you possessed.
Yeah. Yeah, but this was way earlier than that, so all that wouldn't have been an issue.
And this is before I adjusted the assets too.
Ogre, since we're back in and hopefully you're back in, go kill a building.
Okay. However, before I do that, I want to tell you one quick thing.
Mm-hmm.
When I first came in, I was on the opposite side of the ground. I was sitting there going, why am I looking at the underside of buildings? It took me to realize that by the time I finally did it, flipped back and I'm looking at the top side again. So
Okay.
That's a thing we're aware of that.
Okay, cool. As long as you're aware of it.
Yeah, but why would he be starting the game underneath? Because he shouldn't at all.
I've done that occasionally myself, so I don't know.
Okay. That's true. The problem is that equation, if you're already heading in those gaps and you went under, that is a way of doing it, but then it should pop you back up since you get away from the edges.
That might be it. You want to pull up the building? Do you want to pull up the same building? Because if so, I'm going to have to wait for it to be built.
Nah, just pick something.
Okay, just trying to limit different factors.
That's fine. Just tell me which one, so I know what to look at on my end.
What's the satellite station looking one? Research center?
Yeah. Alright, so I'll look at the research one. Alright, that's ours. Okay. So you're over there doing your thing, right?
Okay, remember what I was telling you before about it not registering?
Yes.
So on the research building,
Yes.
the connecting from the bug-looking thing without the legs to the low square building, on the upper half of the black, it doesn't look like it's hitting. Actually, on any of the black. But on the copper section, it does look like it's hitting.
Probably because it's actually on the ground and it's just not rendering it that way.
Builderbot just spiked several hundred feet up into the air.
The top of the bug-looking section is not registering hits.
Alright, could you just shoot at it and worry about that later?
I'm trying to find a good spot to aim at.
Alright, I'm watching you get it. And you're registering damage. I'm seeing you create damage. I see red spots on it. Yes?
How about now?
Alright, well, let me see what you're shooting.
No.
What you're shooting at the ground.
No, I'm shooting at the building. Since you're looking at the damage, I figured it was good just to verify that, that's all. Now I'll go back to shooting the actual building part.
Crash desktop, just say no hindering the nav screen.
That one went much more easily.
Yeah, I got the feeling that there's a clipping issue because of the terrain. So if you're too low to the ground, it's not registering the hit. You know what I mean? So
That might be, but I'm not that low though. Like I'm up in the air still, and I noticed it when I was up further up in the air originally.
well, the problem is that the one stuff goes into the other, meaning the train obviously is going into things. So you might actually unknowingly be hitting the train, but then that should also register as a train hit.
Joining.
Okay. Tell us when you're in.
Crash desktop again.
So you're crashing, but I'm not crashing.
Yeah, I'm still in. I'm fine. Can I blow up a factory of the enemy base?
Sure. Okay, so I see you doing damage there. I mean, I see the red spots and such. And it's almost blown up. There it goes.
That's the other part. It's like the upper part of the model wasn't taking damage, but the lower part was. That's why I'm like, that'd be a really weird train clipping if it was.
I think you have an enemy shooting at your butt.
I know.
Joining.
Taking it easy.
I'm in.
They realize they have a factory up. I guess they do. He's getting another reactor up. There goes the factory. Now, are you still crashing the desktop,
No,
Ernest?
I'm in now. I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in the nav window, flying around.
Minor bug.
Just
When
journalist.
Yeah, I know. When I tell the Builderbot to do stuff, it is now often spiking quite high up into the air, and then it has to come all the way back down.
That's because you're, like I said, you're at the edge of a mega triangle. If you want to see where they are, hit the slash by the lower right shift. So don't build by the edges and you'll be okay.
Oh, well, it's a little late. The edge runs through our base.
I'm not debating that, but that's why you're having the problems you're having, because I told you the equations are failing at the edges, and I don't know why. I know it's a precision issue or whatever, but obviously it's an issue, and it's a pain in my butt, and I have to do something about it, but I haven't yet. But you're right, I can see the big blue line going right through our base. So, yay. Eventually that won't matter. I mean, you have to remember the fact that you can't see it says that, things have gotten greatly improved, but doesn't mean the equation still isn't failing. Unfortunately, it's the same problem with, it's using the same exact routine to do it within the nav screen, so when it fails out in the sim screen, it's failing the nav screen as well.
Crash back out again.
What, because you're joining, or you just did this? Did something?
No, I was in the nav screen flying around and it just tanked.
Okay, I wish I knew why. I guess join back in and do it. I mean,
come back in.
I would exit and come back in, but I'm the server, so I mean, I can't test some of these things. So it just means something that looks like someone killed someone in the air, which is cool.
I just took out one of the enemy cyborg ships. Yeah.
Yep, I saw that.
I don't know if he's probably experiencing user error.
Possibly. But yeah, you might as well finish. Oh, then this crashed.
Yeah, I said I was joining, and that's when it crashed.
That's what happened. Alright, well, something is happening. I don't know what it is. It's you. Matt, could you let's put it this way.
Nope, I've crashed.
Well, you would set the servers off. So the last save game is 5. Matt, since you have the code, I would actually like to see what you're sending me.
Okay.
I assume when you come in, you will crash. And so I'm curious what you think you're supposed to be sending me.
Okay. I'll load
It'll
back
be at
up
the
and
end
try
of
to
your
join.
log. I know everybody else is thrilled about having to deal with that, but
so just crash. It'll be a crash to desktop, or you want me to
just debug it, just see where it eats it. But I mean, I can just say, okay, if I'm crashed, just exit the game, go into your log, and so just put it off to the side so that we can actually, so everybody else isn't just waiting for it.
Okay, is the server back up for me to try to join again?
It is now. And you crashed. Okay, go into your the RWM net log. And of course, we trimmed it down. But what were you sending me?
One moment. Last send was create new PRWAI.
My God, so you are sending me crap. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not a glitch in the network code. You are actually sending me crap.
And there is absolutely nothing here. Pointer 1 is 0.
Yeah, that's why it's blowing up.
Yeah.
So what's above it? Meaning what's immediately, or is it off by itself and you just got a bunch of ship updates?
Ship AI send, bunch of positional stuff.
Yeah, then it's crap. Okay, so for whatever reason, the client is deciding, like, look, I'm creating a brand new AI. Guess what? I'm going to put a null in there because there's no corporation. Blarg. So it's consciously sending it. That's what's disturbing me, because this is not a network glitch. This is the client just goes, I'm going to arbitrarily send you like a death shot. So it's legitimately doing it. Great. Go ahead. Sorry, what?
I was just going to say, you didn't accidentally code Skynet, did you?
I didn't actually what?
You didn't accidentally code in Skynet, did you?
It's been very buggy Skynet, let me tell you. That's weird. So you're consciously, the client's consciously sending it. What is the actual command that's doing? CR?
Create new PRWAI.
Create new PRWAI. That should never. Why is the client ever doing that? I mean, seriously. Alright, well, needless to say that's a problem. I don't have an answer for you as to why. So I just got like lots of wacky things here. Well, Well, we seem to be at a certain impasse. I know it's kind of an early stream, but if we can't keep the join, now I could sit here and we can work through this online, but I don't know if people really want me to do that. The fact that you're sending me that's just whacked. Why
Good
would...
for sticking around. That way you have multiple players to test them on.
Okay, I'm not sure if everybody wants to be bored by this or not. Alright, so let me put this back to the between play, so I'm not just having a black screen there. Alright, there's only a couple places, there's only like one spot that's making that. You're saying it's create... Come on, you can type, Arthur. PRWAI?
Create new PRWAI.
Right. And so far as I know, this is only being called in one spot, the create new PWRA function. Go figure. Okay, so I'm looking at the system, and literally it is only called in one spot, which is right here. And so then I'm going to know who's calling that. Okay, now that's a whole bunch of things. The old asset screen calls it. The prep corpse calls it. Add player to corporation. That's the old asset screen used to do it. Ernest, we're getting a lot of background stuff.
Oh, it's moving something. That's why I'm sorry.
Yep. That's wacky. Let read process controls. What's this? Process asset controls is doing it. But why would you...
Where's that getting called?
3814, but that's just in your process asset controls thing, so that shouldn't make
Somebody would have to be clicking on the button to create a new player AI.
Right. Now just going through what could actually possibly do it. There's prep corporations, which would do it, but that wouldn't happen. Matt, you were in that game, yes?
What do you mean?
You were in the initial list of players in the game.
Correct.
Okay. What I want you to do is set a breakpoint in where are we? Corp AI under line, let's say, just for ha-has, 805.
That's the if PL player type equals Gal player computer.
Yeah, because in the end it doesn't matter. I want to see what's getting why this is getting called. I mean, who's calling it? There's also another breakpoint where we're saying add player to corporation, and I guess that would be 854. And that's it. Everything else is under figure out new orders, which the client should never be running. But because it should not be, doesn't mean it isn't. So tell you what we're going to do. Put another breakpoint under same corporate AI on the 2117. Okay? So what I want to have happen now is you join in, and See at what point this is being called, because it should never be called. I mean, it's legitimately calling it. It's no whack foo, it's no corruption in the network stream. It's calling something you should never be calling, which is extremely creepy to me. The only other thing I could think of is that something else got called and it bled into this, which is possible, but I don't see how that would work. It just doesn't work that way. Sorry for everybody else's boredom, but that's debugging for you.
You said 2117. So at the conditional there, or inside the conditional clause?
I can go back to that. 2117. Just where it says WI does not equal null.
Gotcha.
Alright.
PSA for anybody watching. This is why you don't want to be a video game tester.
Yes. Completely. Everyone thinks, hey, I could play video games all day. Do you have any idea the monotony it gets to? Because sort of like, oh, I get to play a brand new game that no one else has. It's so great. And you have to do it over and over and over.
I mean, even, video game journalists will talk about how the fact that they really, they don't get to play games the way they want to or as much as they want to because it's, like they'll have to play like on the easiest difficulty so that they can get through enough of it to review it and then move on and never come back. This was time.
Yeah, because I mean, once they have to review it, it's business. It's no longer fun, and then, yeah, it's just one of those things.
It definitely lends credence to the notion of it's good to do what you love, but also still have a hobby.
Something like that. I mean, I'll be the first one to say that once this whole game is done, I do want to kind of rein it back so I have a normal life instead of what I have right now, which isn't that way.
Are you saying you're a lich?
Possibly. Maybe later on in my life.
This is the phylactery creating process.
Yes.
Ooh, virtual phylactery. That's an interesting concept.
And it gets distributed. You must delete every copy.
So I just checked for the final thing
Actually,
that it could be.
I think that is a great concept. I'll write that at some point.
You know what makes it even better?
No, I don't.
Embed it. Install it on 10 magneto-optical discs. Encase them in epoxy, and encase those in cement and such, and dump them in the middle of the oceans.
Yep, Matt, you're up.
I mean, that's certainly bulletproof. I don't know if it's literarily interesting, though, if it's actually impossible to deal with.
It's not impossible.
The discs are epoxied together.
Okay, so I'm skipping the prep core call. I'm sorry, I'm just running through the prep corps call.
Yes.
At the very beginning of the game. That's fine.
Because that's irrelevant. Okay, whenever you're ready, I'll get the host going, and then you can join in, and we can see what happened to you. All right.
I would assume destruction of the media would also work for it.
Cool.
I mean, I just thought of the funniest part.
All right.
Every time you delete a copy, he gets his soul back once for every copy. Infinite soul exploit.
All right, Matt, you ready?
Okay, is the host up?
I'm waiting for you to tell me. Matt, are you ready?
User in your channel timed out.
I'll take that as a no.
Yes, I would say so.
That's testing for you.
Now we have a new. I'm going up for some smokes. Oh, I crashed. User in your channel timed out. Dad, why won't you love me? All these jokes are for Chris.
True.
Yeah, just say I thought that was illegal in this state.
Which means I'll have to tell him where to put the breakpoints again. See, Ogre, you remember you telling me about putting breakpoints into your machine so we can actually see what happens? Yeah.
Mm.
Although I don't know if you'd had the patience for this.
Depends on what I'm doing and how much I care about actually getting an answer.
True. But at least we confirmed that. Now we're getting a bunch of messages.
I was not asking what happens.
Yeah, only you. I don't know, is he going through his phone versus his machine? The joys of debugging, especially online, especially with our inaugural
User
run
entered your
on
channel.
Twitch.
Okay, server up.
I was asking you when you wanted me to hit the OK button, and then you died.
Hello, test.
Can you hear me? Can you hear us?
Matt, I can hear you.
Matt? Hello?
Okay, yes, I can hear you. I'm ready to try to connect now.
Alright, I'm clicking OK. Alright, I clicked OK, you click OK.
Hello?
Click
Test?
OK. Oh.
Yeah, I hear you, Matt. You're there.
We hear you, Matt. Do you
We
hear
hear you,
Arthur?
Matt. Matt, do you hear us? Oh my god.
Hello? Test.
Hello, can you hear us?
Anything?
Can you
Yes,
hear
I
us?
hear you.
Okay, cool.
Yes, but we don't hear you saying that you can hear us. And you keep going test, so I assume you don't hear us. So you hear us now?
If you hear us right now,
You're
Matt,
just-
we do not hear you.
Okay, now you're breaking up.
User in your channel timed out.
Oh, for freaking frackin'.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Welp.
Yeah. So what is he saying?
You broke up and then the connection died.
Yes, that's what he said. Well, try again.
User entered your channel.
Hello? Can you hear us?
Hello? Yes, I can hear you.
Yep, I can hear you
Yeah.
too, man.
Yay.
The server's up, right?
Server's up.
Okay. Click start. I'm in the lobby. There was a call to Prep Corp.
Alright, but you haven't joined yet, or have you joined?
I clicked join.
Okay. So you're getting a prep corp?
Yes.
Okay, let it run through and see if that's what's causing the problem.
So just hit F5 or you want me to step through?
See where it's coming from? Who called prep corp?
Yeah, I keep crashing when I join the lobby.
Netcom start game. Well, temp player does not equal null. If temp player type equals go player human, and temp player corp equals null.
Alright, that just don't
Prep
just read
corp.
it off to me. Just what line are we talking about? Matt, what line?
Oh, you're starting to break up now.
I can still hear you perfectly clear, Matt. So
Yeah,
you're
but
not
that
breaking
doesn't
up on
mean that
our
he's
end.
hearing us, Paul.
Okay.
It's
2341 in splash screen.
Alright, thank you. 2341. I'll just see if this is an issue or not. Come out there. 2341. okay. 41. Oh, all right. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's real bad. That's epically bad. All right, that's really, 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 really bad. That means that the players were never sent over the corporations. That means what I'm sending isn't correct.
I'm a little fuzzy on this whole good-bad thing.
Oh, for effing. While you could comment that section out, I don't think that's going to solve anything. Because that means you have a player that's not assigned to a corporation. Okay. All right, let's roll with that, shall we? Okay, hold on. All right, just everybody disconnect so I can actually check it over here. I want to see if what I'm sending is correct. Meaning, did my local data get corrupt? You know what I mean? All right, did everybody disconnect?
I'm out.
User in your channel timed out.
Obviously, he did too. Okay, we'll put breakpoint here. Okay, thank you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check the players and see if everybody has a corporation assigned to it. If not, then that's it right there. Okay, so I do. Big no surprise there. All right, he does. And that's Jordan. Paul, he has a corporation assigned. Ernest, he has a corporation assigned. Ogre, he has a corporation assigned.
User entered your channel.
Matt, he has a corporation assigned. That's not good then. And Computer 1 also has a corporation assigned. And the one after that, ironically, is Adam. I don't know how that one worked, but okay. And that's weird. He has corporation assigned, but that's very strange. Okay. Name Adam. Oh, because I'm scrolling down too far. That's why. That's fine. Well, internally on the server, it's still correct. So Matt, let me stop this.
Okay.
And let me look. Look in your RWM net log. And we have all these players that I sent. Although I don't know why I would have a -1 for all of them like that. Corporation, research queue, etc. Alright. Ironically, because I pulled out the stuff in between, I can't see what I'm sending anymore. All I know is as I'm sending the stuff. Isn't that great? It's sending you one of the designs, AB07. It's literally the first thing it does.
The last thing I received was link play effect to SS for a ship that's apparently being sent to me.
That wouldn't make a difference anyway. That's what's happening, and what causes is you are sending me a request to create an AI. You are as a client, which is completely irrelevant and doesn't work that way. And so that's really the problem here. Take token, fill things, and then, yeah, we have this here. Server send, etc. So for whatever reason, the corporation listing is not either not being sent, although all the local stuff is fine, but you're not receiving it. So you know all the stuff that we removed to make things not lag out like crazy. You know, we gotta put that back in so we can actually see at what point is this falling over and dying. So at least now we know what's happening. What's happening is the player, when he joins in, for whatever reason, isn't seeing the corporation. Now, tell you what, Matt, let's try this again. All right?
Okay.
Same thing. But where you had the breakpoint in the splash screen. Okay?
Hold on, you're breaking up again. Where I had, you were starting to say something about the breakpoint.
The breakpoint you have in the splash screen, I guess under splash screen 2335. You hear me? Hello?
I heard the line number 2335 in the splash screen.
Yes.
But
Now,
I didn't hear anything else, and
all right.
everything appears to be dying again.
Let's not do this to everybody else because that's not really fair to them. Okay, it's almost 6. I guess we'll wrap this up. Matt and I will take care of this offline. I'm not trying to torture everybody else since we're trying to figure this one out. Jordan, since and Ernest, since you two seem to be the ones that were mostly playing around with the nav screen. Now, obviously, the nav screen's not done, but you kind of see where I'm trying to go with it. So I'm trying to do a little wrap up here. So the main things that I added were obviously a great ease of navigation through the terrain of the RTS section of it.
Yes, very much.
So that's obviously something you guys like. That sounds like a universal yes. Or no?
Yes, for me.
Okay. The next thing would be the we didn't do much with the commands, and I'll admit that I was hoping to have them working better before today's test, but it didn't work out that way. By next time, that will be much further cleaned up. Is there other things you can suggest that you think that would be more helpful to the RTS screen?
Part of the frustration currently is a total lack of any kind of feedback whenever I tell the builder to do anything.
Okay, well, so that's the feedback I need. Because if that's the case, then I should have a little pop-up or something, or even an audio thing going, command accepted, or something.
Yeah, I have no, like, when I tell it to do something, I have, unless it starts moving immediately, which it often does, but not always, if it's, like, sits there for a sec, I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, no, but that's the point. That's the kind of feedback, that's exact feedback I need. So, yeah, we
Noted.
Okay, excellent. I was about to say that. So what else would be helpful?
When you mouse around the screen, when there's no icon there, you should have a little green box pop up.
All right, you're gonna have to explain that a lot better than that. When there's no mouse around, they have a little green box pop up. What do you mean?
Yeah, when I'm not targeting anything, there's no icons on the screen. You know, like the repair icon.
Well, there shouldn't be. It's context sensitive. So when you select something, that's when it says these are the things you can do. If you don't have anything selected, you can't do anything. So that's why.
I know, but there's a green box, a little highlighting box that pops up in empty space.
I'll get rid of that. That's before we actually had any backdrops for anything. We did that to actually prove that the damn thing was even there.
Mm-hmm.
So, Matt, if you want to just put down, it's like get rid of the highlighter for the OmniGrids for those green boxes. That they were there for a reason. That reason's passed now that we actually have backdrop stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, beside that, I haven't got to play around with the nav screen too much since I kept crashing out when I was navigating around. So
what was? I mean, you weren't clicking on anything. You were just navigating around in the data itself.
Yeah, I was just using the shift key and the zooming in and out, and moving around, looking at the terrain.
How long were you in before you crashed?
Usually about 2 minutes.
Okay, so it wasn't the 10-second thing that Matt and I were looking at before.
No, it definitely wasn't 10 seconds. It was a good couple minutes, and then it would just blink, and that would be it. I'll be on the desktop.
Okay. Well, all I can do is start spamming some of the memory leak stuff that I think is going on in there. That's the only thing I can think of was causing that kind of problem. Obviously, Jordan was in there for a lot longer and he didn't have the issue, but doesn't you know how this goes?
Yeah.
So I want to track down why that might be the case, and obviously squash it so it's a lot more stable. I mean, you know how these things go. Sometimes it's like one small thing that makes everything unstable.
Mm-hmm. And I guess
yeah.
also like when you select enemy ship, there's a couple commands in the menu that show up that I don't know if they should show up, like possess enemy ship.
Probably
Not
not.
necessarily possess enemy ship, but there are some commands that were in that bar. I haven't had a chance to read everything. That I was
Okay.
like, why is this here?
I'll look through it, and that's just setting a bit flag whether that should show up or not.
Yeah.
Also, I really should right now turn off the fact that you can possess enemy ships. I should turn that off, like right now. That should not be okay.
Also, explode enemy base.
Yeah, remove that as a default. That's a problem. All right, I have allow global possess off and on the server end. So how are you actually able to do it? Huh. All right. So that is a bug then. If you're actually, are you possessing from? I was actually able to possess from the host end. I shouldn't have been able to do it.
I don't think the button. I'm trying to remember. Like I said, I didn't have much time to look at all the options there, but I do remember there were some, and I thought one was a possession or take control in the enemy ship list. So.
Okay. Now, one of the things I want to add was what I just didn't have time. Was so you can actually unselect things or highlight things that are in the list, so that you can say, okay, this is what I want to do to this guy, and that kind, and then have little pop-ups giving like statuses. Because right now you have no idea what's going on with them, that kind of thing. So stuff like that to kind of make it a lot more friendly to use. So that's the kind of stuff I'm trying to understand from everyone. Maybe they have some hit points there or something else like that, so you know how damaged they are, or maybe a mini icon of the current status, which might be helpful. Who knows?
And also, when you mouse over live ships of your own teammates to identify, like, this is Ogre's ship, this is Lord Art's ship, you know?
Well, that's going to come up a lot more now that we have a small font to use. I might just have it permanently show up, but yeah, no, you're 100% right. I should probably have a little pop-up with a little information. I should move your mouse over something that says, this is the ship name, here's the general status of it, who owns it.
And, that would be nice.
And then at that point, maybe you say if there's a living player in there or something, maybe a little icon or something. Something of that nature, so that we have that now in the sim screen. The nav screen is much further behind than the sim screen is in that respect. And so it needs the loving. So maybe not everything can be put in the next 2 weeks, but certainly it'll be a far cry better than what it is now. And we'll further refine it at that point. But any other suggestions that people have that we can actually make the RTS screen somewhere you want to live in?
One more, the sim screen. The old velocity and the target that you have.
Yep.
I cannot read it on my screen.
Okay. What's the resolution you're running?
1920 by 1080 by 9. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a 1080 screen. Then I will look into it, because originally it was set for a certain font size, and then the fonts have changed.
Yeah, it's extremely pixelated. It's really weird. However,
really?
What I don't get is I could take my camera on my phone and hold it up to the font and read it. But if I move my camera and look out of my own eyes, I can't read it, which is really tripping me out right now.
Dude, you're getting as old as I am. My eyes aren't that great as much as I want them to be anymore. Maybe your eyes are going. That's kind of screwy.
No. I could read everything fine. It's just weird because I mean, if you were sitting here, you could look and see that. Yes, you could actually see the pixels of the letters, and it's hard to read. But when I put my phone over it with the photo, it actually looked normal. I'm like, what's going on here?
All right, your camera on your phone is not going to interpret what's not there. Yeah, that's not how it works.
I know that, Arthur. I'm just saying that.
Okay.
I don't understand why my eyes are not seeing what my camera's seeing.
Fair enough.
It's got nothing to do with vision.
If you say so. Now we're going to change the font on that anyway to make it easier to read when it's smaller. We knew that we haven't done that yet. So we'll do that, and maybe hopefully that will change and therefore be easier to read. Is the hope. I'll admit I test in 4K. I don't test in 1080p, but you're not wrong, and we should test in 1080p for some of these layouts to make sure that they're viable. For example, the positions of the monitors. I'm very interested in seeing how that is between one and the other, and we'll go from there. Any other suggestions for the nav screen, at least where it is right now, or any other suggestions they have, for that matter? All right. Well, since everybody's being silent, I take that as a no. I mean, bring up anything you want, because anything you bring up is very helpful to us, to be honest. All right. Obviously, you can contact me offline. I was hoping this would be much more of a slugfest out there, because when Matt and I were testing, that's what it ended up becoming. Because of this root crash, which Matt and I are going to definitely have to track down, because this is not acceptable. We'll figure out what goes on, and we'll get that fixed, and it should be better for next time. I'm sorry that this is kind of screwy. So, thank you again for coming, and we'll do this again in 2 weeks, which gets to the end of July, and things will be a lot better. And if you come up with any other suggestions for us to add in, by all means, contact us, and we'll see what we can do about getting it in time. All right? Well,
Alrighty.
Cool.
Thank you all for coming, and I appreciate that, and I will talk to you guys later.
All right,
See you later.
See ya.
Thank you again for coming to the live stream, and thank you for all the people who decided to join us for the live stream. Sorry this wasn't as interesting as I would have liked, but such is life. And we'll hopefully have something better to show you next time. All right, thank you for joining us. Bye-bye, all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
User disconnected from your channel. Disconnected from your channel.
That didn't necessarily mean everybody
User disconnected from your channel.
The team speak, but that's okay.
People probably took it as, bye, get out of here.
Yeah, that's okay. I stopped